Tell me about the Johnson City adventures.
Well, the Johnson City tournament was started in '61. That was won by Johnny Beavis that year. It ran 8 or 9 years, and the Stardust tournament ran about the same amount of time, but it didn't start till '68 or '69, I think. I might be off a year or two in the direction on the Stardust ones, but anyway, they were promoted by the Jansko brothers, George and Polly, and they were kind of thieves, I guess you might say. There was a saying about them that Georgie would steal your eyeball, Paulie told you you look great without it. So anyway, the tournaments were 3 weeks long. And anyway, they owned, in Johnson City, they owned the golf course, the nightclub, the pool facility, the bar. The only thing they didn't own was a motel, and they were in with that. And by the time the tournament was over, they had pretty much all the money.
Right.
So, and the tournaments in Vegas were wonderful. They were upstairs at the Stardust, and the rooms were $10 a day, and there was nonstop gambling activity. And I have nothing but special memories from those days. I only went to Johnson City 1 year, though, because in those days, if you were a young up-and-coming player like I was then, you didn't want your picture taken. So if you did well in the tournament, they took your picture. Then you go into a place and somebody was, oh, I seen your picture last week in the magazine. I don't want to play you. And so it would knock your action. So anyway, I went the 1 year is all, and I beat 5 or 6 of the best players in the world, and I only won like $2,500. So that was just a bad deal for me.
How much would you win in a normal game when you're gambling
Well,
in those days?
Those days were entirely different. I'd say a good win is 5 or 10,000 or more. And I've been lucky enough. I had a few wins pretty well up in the 5 figures. I never did have a win in the 6 figures. Your dad did. He won $1 million, if you recall, or and he paid taxes on that. So that's another thing I always liked about
That was the Clio?
Yeah, with Clio and Mobile, right? So anyway.
Yeah, Dad was honest. I don't know about $1 million, but he won some and he claimed it on taxes.
Well, I pay taxes. I can't afford to give the government a third of what I make because I barely scrape by some months. You know, I was a single dad for a lot of years, and I raised a family as a gambler at pool for the most part, and with no entitlements. I mean, no credit union, no pension plan, no insurance benefits. So I had to be on my toes. So I had to quit smoking 11 years ago, and I love to smoke. So did your dad. You remember the days when Bill smoked?
I sure did. And then they told him he had emphysema, so I had to quit.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I had to quit too. So I love smoking. It's cheaper and more enjoyable than marriage, except for my wife, my present wife, of course.